Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I've mentioned so many times before, Disney and Marvel together, they just can't help themselves, okay? We've made videos about this prior. I think I made like 2 videos about female Silver Surfer when it was first rumored way back, I think in November. This is the thing that's now been officially proven to be true. And it's funny, they had options to actually make a real female Silver Surfer. There's actual female heralds that they could have chosen from. But they choose to go with the Elseworld story. They choose to go with a character who is literally just like maybe a side character here and there, the love interest of Silver Surfer. And now you're going to have all the Wikipedia warriors coming out and pretending as if they know what they're talking about. Like, no. All of a sudden, source material matters, and now it's to be respected.
They're posers.
So what am I talking about? Well, we got Marvel's Fantastic Four, an article from Bounding Into Comics, cast inventing Anna star Julia Garner as female version of Silver Surfer. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why they did not go with the actual female herald, and that's because they wanted to put female and Silver Surfer together. They didn't want to go with female herald of a Galactus without the name Silver Surfer attached to it. They know that Silver Surfer, number 1, has all the clout. Number 2, it has all the mainstream stay that it's going to make people pissed off when they change it. They know if they introduced a character that was actually a female herald in the story, that this would not be usually a problem, and people would, people would still probably say MCU, but they'd be a little more lenient. This, where you're literally saying, no, we're going to make Silver Surfer female, this just proves that they can't help themselves. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says, in a move so stereotypical that it borders on parody, Marvel Studios has announced that rather than a Norrin Rad version of the beloved comic hero, their upcoming Fantastic Four film will instead present audiences with the female Shalabal incarnation of the Silver Surfer. Again, this is only meant to anger you, okay? That's all it's meant to do. It's meant to anger you. They know that nobody wants this fucking character. They know that nobody wants female Silver Surfer. Anybody who's actually a fan of Silver Surfer does not want Shalabal Silver Surfer. That's not what the fans want. This is what I keep talking about. You are actively not giving the fans what they want. You know what the fans want, and yet you are choosing to go in the complete opposite direction because ideology. That's like... It's not money. You're not doing this to make money. We know that's factual, okay? We've seen so many different bombs go throughout Disney and Marvel that we know that money is not the drawing point here. Money is not the attractive point here. You're not doing this for money. You're doing this for your ESG. You're doing this also because you are completely taken over by angry feminists in the production studios. These feminists cannot stand men, and they want to destroy everything that men have grown to love over the last few decades. It says confirmation of Marvel's latest casting move first made public on April 3rd when, in an exclusive for the outlet, Deadline's Justin Kroll reported that according to his sources, Ozark and inventing Anna star Julia Garner has been cast to play the iconic Herald of Galactus. To this end, Kroll also noted that rather than just an outright race swap version of the aforementioned Rad, Garner would instead be portraying the wholly separate character Shalabal. Now, most people who are probably normies don't even know who the fuck Shalabal is. Let's be real. I'm not even going to pretend. Like, normies do not know who Shalabal is. Normies don't really know the other Heralds of Galactus. Most people just only know Silver Surfer. If you were to show some other character looking exactly like Silver Surfer, but female, they would say, is that Silver Surfer? They have no idea who these other characters are. So it just keeps going and proving that what they're doing is they're using these characters that nobody cares about to push their diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. They're not going to give them the proper time of day, and it's just going to flop. This movie now went from probably being interesting to potentially being a flop, depending on how big of a role female Silver Surfer has. Is she going to be, the main star of the film? Who really knows? A fellow native of Rad's home planet, Zenla, Ball is the first introduced in the debut issue of 1968 Silver Surfer Volume 1, therein being depicted as the love of the eventual cosmic entity's life. Sadly for the couple, the coming of Galactus and Rad's agreement to serve as his herald in exchange for the sparring of Zenla would eventually see the couple forcibly ripped from each other's arms, and as a result, Ball would be left to stay on their home planet while her lover set out to perform his heartbreaking duties. Now, that's a great story, okay? That's a fantastic story, and it's something that humanizes Silver Surfer, in a way that, honestly, storytelling these days, you can't have this, right? You can't have a man sacrificing himself for a woman. You can't have that, right? Women are stunning and brave, need no man kind of a thing. You can't have men sacrificing themselves to give her a life and to give their you can't do that. So that's why they didn't go with Silver Surfer. They completely ignored Silver Surfer, and now they're gonna sex swap him and throw in a name that nobody's heard of, just to try to make it seem like it's following the source material. From there, Ball would spend the next roughly 50 years as a supporting character to the Surfer's adventures, her appearances taking on one or two distinct forms, either a temporary reunion with Rad after they would be forced to accept their fates once again, or an illusion employed by one of the hero's enemies with the intent of breaking his mind. That was until 2016 Silver Surfer Volume 8. Therein, writer Dan Slott promote Ball and from Rad's love interest to Zenla's Keeper of the Great Truth, a role which saw her not only turn into a villainous cultural expansionist intent on overriding the universe's various cultures with that of her own home planet, but also come to blows with her heroic former lover who sought to stop her twisted machinations. So now you got a tragic love story. So you went from sacrificial love story to an overall tragic love story. And again, that's great writing. That's great storytelling. It's classic, right? It's tried and true. And you're not going to get this. You're not going to get any of this. I guarantee you this will not happen. I don't think the actual Silver Surfer is going to show up in this film. I think they're going to focus on this woman, and it's just going to flop. I'm telling you, it's going to flop. Eventually, their conflict would come to a head with Rad in a moment of desperation, using his power cosmic to erase Zenla's culture from existence, thus crippling Baal's entire campaign. Unwilling to accept this humiliation lying down, Baal in turn stripped Rad of his Zenla citizenship, thus leaving both of them without a true home to ever return to. Again, super tragic story. Awesome, and I wish I could see that adopted into a film, but unfortunately we won't get that. Notably, at no point does the core Earth 616 version of Ball ever serve as the Silver Surfer herself. Rather, the only time a version of Ball has ever seen in the role was in the final two issues of 1997 Earth X Volume 1 miniseries, where she is temporarily granted the powers of the Silver Surfer and made his twin herald before being killed a short time later by an invading force of Celestials. All in all, Ball's total page time as a version of the Silver Surfer amounts to roughly 4 pages across 2 issues, Earth X Volume 1, number 12, and Earth X Volume 1, number 10. So, okay. Wow, 4 pages, ladies and gentlemen. 4 pages across 2 issues, and you decided to give her a movie. Like, why would you do that? That is the most stupid thing. And then what's funny is that this announcement for this movie came out literally right after the earnings call with investors. They held this back. They did not announce this until after the fact, after everything was done, after they had the questions and answers. They decide to hold this information back and just completely destroy any hope that these investors probably had left in the company. So this is sad, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to have a lot, and I mean a lot, of disingenuous people on Twitter suddenly trying to argue that source material matters. They're going to go on Wikipedia, they're going to read about Shalabal really quick, and they're going to pretend to be experts, and then they're going to come out and say source material matters. Why are you mad? It's following the comics. Well, we're mad because instead of giving us an actual real Silver Surfer in a movie and doing it right, you gave us a sex swap version of Silver Surfer who had 4 pages across 2 issues of content and giving her an entire fucking movie for it, all because she checks the right proper boxes at the right time. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.
But then Kathleen Kennedy says I... Fuck it, make it my name.